When we flame Cat, it's one thing. When the media does it, it's another. Alan Hahn, he tried to, how you say that? Eloquently put Cat in a body bag. Karl-Anthony Towns has not been himself for most of this season. Was it the trade talks the Knicks reportedly had regarding Giannis Antetokounmpo? Was it because the team subsequently didn't offer him a contract extension before the season? Was it because Tom Thibodeau, a coach he trusted, even with clashes in the past, was fired? Was it because the new coach Mike Brown put a lot of demands on him in a new offense? Towns will never say it. When you ask him, he takes the high road and mentions adjustments, impacting winning, and doing what's best for the team. He won't mention the damaged finger on his shooting hand when you talk about his drop in efficiency this season. But if he holds up that hand, you can see one finger doesn't go straight like the others. He stays quiet in his own simmering frustration that is interrupted by moments of the smiling, ebullient personality that makes him so likable off the court. What did you write him a fucking love letter? Yo, what, come on, Alan Hahn. But this 1-3 road trip the Knicks just completed after a loss to Golden State, it's now their seventh in the last 9 games, has sharpened the focus on Cat's concern this season. 15 points and 5 turnovers in Phoenix, left on the bench at the end of the win in Portland, called out for not hustling after falling down in Sacramento, and routinely punked by Draymond Green again in Golden State. Interesting. The Knicks were without their all-star, all-NBA star Jalen Brunson, who injured his ankle with Sacramento. We could just focus on that, but the issue I have with it is we then ignore the fact that you have another all-NBA player on your roster just so you don't have to rely so heavily on one star, as some teams do. Towns should be able to keep you competitive. He did that against the Warriors on the boards with a dominant 20-rebound performance, but he continued to struggle finishing around the rim, 4 of 9 in the paint, and was 6 for 14 against a team that has zero length and paint presence. Towns is 7th in the NBA in shots in the restricted area and is the only player in the top 25 in field goal attempts in the restricted area that is shooting below 60%. Interesting. Golden State, as Mike Brown put it, was just more physical than the Knicks were, and we're hearing that a lot lately. They called to mind something green. That called to mind something green, ever the agitator of the meek and mild, said about Cat a year ago when they last met. This is what Draymond Green said about Cat, in case we forgot. There's guys like Karl-Anthony Towns that are that talented that sometimes they need somebody to put the battery in their back. And Karl-Anthony Towns, in my opinion, is one of those guys because he's got the size, he's strong as hell, and he's obviously has the skill. So if I can get you to play with that level of physicality, more often than not, we're going to win way more games than we lose. And I'm going to get you to be a better player than you knew or thought you were. So he would 100% be better off if he always played that physical. And by the way, if he played that physical all the time, he'd be a lot more respected around the NBA than he is. Alan Hahn says, where's the lie? The Knicks are desperate for a presence right now, and Towns did his best by being that on the boards. But at 30 years old with a decade in the league, you can't expect he's suddenly going to go from Karl Towns to Karl Malone. How long is this shit, Alan Hahn? I had enough of that. Draymond Green, thank you, Alan Hahn. Case closed. Yeah, I've been saying it. Punked him. Got in his head, and Alan Hahn reminding us that Cat is the only one shooting below 60% around in the restricted area, and just nobody's feeling right about Cat right now, and something's wrong. And he talked about his crooked finger on the shooting hand, Flea. Like, what else is there? What else do we need to talk about to really break this shit down?
There's nothing else to break down. I just want to win. I don't care about niggas getting wordy. I don't care about niggas, journalists trying to show that they're intellectuals. Right. I don't give a fuck about articles. I don't give a fuck about stats. I don't care about soliloquies from you, me, OG, niggas in the comments. I really just want to win at this point. I just want to win. I want to do whatever it takes to have a winning attitude and a winning culture in the locker room. Right? Everybody has a fix. Everybody has a solution. Fire this nigga, do this, do that, do that. Everybody shut the fuck up. What are we gonna do to win games? Everybody's a fucking know-it-all when it's time to talk Knicks. But nobody wants to talk about, yo, how do we win games? Everybody knows the solution. Everybody, great article, Alan Hahn. Great article, my brother. Great work. Great work. But like I said, I don't like all that wordy shit, all that trying to sound like you know better than everybody else. I don't care. Everybody got two eyes and know what they're watching. Everybody has two eyes and know what they're watching. I'm not arguing with niggas no more about who they think this nigga is and who they think that nigga is. It's this person for, it's that person for. Somebody's not playing well, this, and that. Yo, the Knicks were a united group last year. Whether you liked the coach, whether you didn't like the bench, whether you didn't, whatever your dislikes were, it was a joy to root for that team last year. It was a joy to be a fan. It was a joy to be on that ride last year as they took us all the way up until the Eastern Conference Finals. Disappointing to lose for sure. But it was joyful to be a fan and watch them. Niggas not having fun right now. We're not having fun. We're not having fun watching this team. The team doesn't look like they're having fun. And it's not just one fucking guy. I know we spent a lot of time with Cat. But it's contagious. Everybody does not look like they're having fun. So there's got to be a huge come to Jesus moment with the whole team, including the coach, the coaching staff, the front office. Everybody got to get on the same page. It seemed like La Costa Rosa. When's the last time we said that? When's the last time we patted them on their back about the job they've done with the front office? So, like, everybody just be cool. Stop acting like this team doesn't have a lot of flaws and got a lot going on right now. And Cat is a big issue. Brunson is a huge issue. Our defense is a huge issue. Like, it's a lot of problems with this Knicks team right now. We got to be honest about that.
And I think it's more unfortunate going back to La Cosa Rosa, which I was big on. And it's just an unraveling of the culture of the team. Mm-hmm. The culture of the team was just, because it wasn't Thibs. Cat was here with Thibs. We didn't play any defense with Thibs and Cat. And immediately they said, we're going to play drop coverage. And I'm like, yo, that's like zone. That's like the worst kind of zone you can play in football. Drop. So I'm not gonna be a threat to you whatsoever on a defensive end as a big man unless you come in closer to me in the paint. You can't do that. You can't just play drop coverage in football. That means it's a passing play. That's not aggressive. They did some of that in Minnesota, but this is we don't stress Leon Rose and them enough. I don't, and I nicknamed them, and ever since the Quentin Grimes trade, then the Mikal Bridges trade, then it was letting Don. It was like, bro, you're getting rid of what worked, the grit and grind mode. How do you escape that? How do you escape that? And this is part of the reason why, if David Smith or anybody wants to say, this is when the Karl-Anthony Towns blame gets out of hand a little bit, because there's no way we could just say it's his fault. He already signed that deal. We signed up to go trade for him. And the other thing is, funny thing, we talk about that, right? Julius Randle, part of the reason why he was traded was because there was supposed to be some miscommunication on a contract extension, that he wanted way more bread, like Karl-Anthony Towns. But Randle signed for the same deal. 3 years, $100 million. He's making $33 million a year, $35 million. The front office didn't notice, so he switched from CAA. This is the front office that put a lot on Karl-Anthony Towns' plate. It's not his. He already signed up for whatever he signed up for the kind of player that he is. And the rest of the league, what, you don't have intel of what the other players feel like Karl-Anthony Towns is? And then on top of that, I saw Mikal Bridges for myself in Brooklyn. I was like, yeah, not for nothing. I don't know about number one, number two option. He's a little weak. If you keep Dante, I'm with that. If he's here with Dante and it's the Nova Knicks, the core four, okay, that's cool. But then you traded grit away with Dante DiVincenzo, who the underdog mentality, you traded that away for Mikal Bridges. And Cat is the guy that's taking all the heat, even though Mikal got traded for 5 draft picks.
I think it this is my last point, Fabian. I think it lends to about that 2024 team. and about last year's team. And those teams, again, possessed a level of grit. They possessed a level of what Spoelstra alluded to earlier this season. Yo, the Knicks, you have to snuff them out. You got to shut the water off. You got to flatline them. They can't have any heartbeat. You got to flatline us. And that's what we were. That's what our MO has always been, and we've created over the last few years. Yeah, we may play poorly. We might not start off hot, but as we get going, we'll fight and we'll fight and we'll fight. That shot Dante hit in the Garden, we were down. Like, we needed that. Like, all the moments that happened over that 2 to 3 year span, right? And now we get here. I just feel like this season it could culminate into not making the playoffs. It could culminate into, being a playing team and fighting for a seed in the playoffs. It could culminate into being into a 7-game series in a dog fight with whoever we play in the first round. Like, it could culminate into that because of all the poor habits, all the poor play that we've had all season long. You know why we went into the playoffs last year? Confident against Detroit. Felt like knew we were going to beat Boston. And once we got to the conference finals, we thought it was going to be a cakewalk against Indiana. Right? Am I saying that right? If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. I have no problem with that. But we went into that feeling confident because, shit, did y'all watch the regular season? We played our ass off.
I disagree with that.
We played our ass off last season.
The regular season. There's nothing about the regular season that showed us that we were going to do that in the postseason.
No, we didn't beat. Yes, it did. The only thing in regular season, we fought. That's what I'm saying. There was never a time where I felt like we gave up. There was never a time that I felt like we were outmatched. Teams looked better. We didn't beat the big teams. We were 10-0. We were 0-10 against top level teams last year. Fine, but when we went into the playoffs, it was a different animal. But you always knew that there was a level of energy that we play. We don't play like that now, Fabian. We don't play like that now,
especially on offense. And then going into the playoffs, the one thing we were excited about was OG an option? Okay, it's Cat. We never thought about Cat not being an option. Right now, he's playing like he's not an option. And again, is his fault? Yeah. Mike Brown, y'all are the ones that could tell me better than this. And I know for a fact, judging by Cat's attitude and Mike Brown's attitude, both y'all motherfuckers is soft. Both you motherfuckers. And that's what we worried about when we got Mike Brown. Or is Mike Brown just listening to the rest of the team and trying to scapegoat Cat? And we just saw what happened, what we said about the Sacramento Kings. They got tired of him. Like, bro, you throwing these rotations out there, and we see it in real time right now. How the fuck you don't got Diawara in the game? I don't care if Booker's killing him. He's guarding Brooks really well. And the energy he has, nobody could go from one end of the court to the other like Diawara on this team. Nobody could. But he chooses to not see that. There's no way Diawara's not playing like that in practice. I can't not see him playing alongside Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby in practice and not trying to impress them. And Mitchell Robinson and not trying to impress them. He doesn't leave me, nothing about his game leads me to believe any of that shit. The only thing that caps him would be his skill set ain't there yet, but the effort is always there. And with Tyler Kolek, that's all nothing to do with his effort, except for the read and react shit. He can't read and react right now. He has no feel for the game. And to me, Mike Brown is leaning a lot into this Cat blame shit. And I don't know if it's the right time to do it. And really forget about timing and this, that, and the third. When you are the guy, you are the guy. When we talk about Bill Parcells, we always salute Bill Parcells. We always salute the guys that this shit is trash over here, man. For whatever reason, they're a great leader. For whatever reason, everybody's different. Popovich got away with a lot of shit that nobody gets away with. He told all that snarky. I look back at a lot of that footage. I'm like, that shit ain't funny. I can only imagine that your job is to be a reporter. You got to deal with Popovich. Like, man, fuck you. Yo, straight up, man. Who the fuck you think you are? I don't care if you're a Karl. I don't care how many rings. Yeah, fuck you. That at some point is disrespectful. You want to sit up there and be righteous? And he's old now, so I'm kicking him while he's down. But I'm just saying he gets away with a lot of shit because he is, like you say, he's pop. He's pop. And Mike Brown doesn't have any of that cachet to tell any one of these guys that you're an idiot for not understanding this system, including Karl-Anthony Towns, who's been in the league for over 10 years. Giannis trades this, Giannis trades that, crooked finger. There's a lot that comes with this cat thing that's falling apart, Flea. It's unfortunate. Man, but y'all know what this was. What?
Once a guy is who he is, that's who he is. You keep saying it. You've been here a decade. You gonna change all of a sudden?
He don't want to be great. You always say he loves the lifestyle. He don't love the game. He loves what comes with it. But y'all know what this was.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all.